Hi everyone, welcome to RAM24.com channel, and today we'll be taking apart Xiaomi 14 Ultra. First we need to remove the SIM card tray. However, the phone has already been disassembled before us, and unfortunately the SIM card tray is missing. Next we need to heat the back cover to approximately 70 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. We're using a heating mat for this, but you can also use a heat gun or a hair dryer. Keep in mind that the back cover is also glued around the camera housing, so be sure to apply extra heat around the camera module. After that, we use a thin plastic film inserted into the gap between the back cover and the mid frame and carefully slide it around the edge to cut through the adhesive. As always, be especially careful around the cameras to avoid accidentally scratching or damaging the lenses. You can also insert a plastic opening tool under the back cover to keep it from sticking back down while you're working. Now we carefully work our way around the entire edge. Since this phone has already been opened before, removing the back cover won't be very difficult. As always, keep in mind that on this type of back cover, where the area around the cameras protrudes, this section is additionally glued in place. You will need to use a suitable plastic tool to gently leave the cover in this area and separate it from the frame. Now we can set the back cover aside. At this point, it is a good idea to protect the camera lenses. We're using a special protective film. Notice that we apply the film around the rims of the lenses, not directly onto the lenses themselves. As you can see, the phone has 4 large rear cameras. Once the lenses are protected, we can remove the screws in the upper section. For this, we use a 1.5mm Phillips screwdriver or a Phillips #30. We remove all of the screws and place them on a magnetic protect mat or another organized surface in the same pattern they came out. Keep in mind that several of these screws are non-magnetic and they differ in both size and color. It is really important to remember their original locations for reassembly. Next, using a non-metallic tool, carefully pry up the upper cover from the edge and remove it. This cover includes the antenna contacts and traces, the earpiece speaker, the NFC antenna, and the wireless charging coil. Now, using a non-metallic tool, disconnect the 2 battery connectors. There appears to be some paper tape covering them that is most likely left over from a previous repair. Next, we remove the screws in the lower section using the same 1.5mm Phillips screwdriver. Once again, notice that these screws vary in size and color, so it is important to reinstall each one in its original location during reassembly. Now we can remove the loudspeaker assembly, carefully lift it from the edge and take it out. As you can see, the assembly also includes a small antenna board and a coaxial cable. Next, we disconnect the interconnect flex cable. It most likely routes signals to the antennas. Disconnect the connector from the main board and move the cable out of the way. Now we disconnect the remaining interconnect flex cables and fold them aside so they don't get in the way, and disconnect the display flex cable as well. Next, carefully lift out the first small board. This board contains a microphone, and on the reverse side you will find the SIM card connector. Now we remove the second small board, which also contains a microphone beneath a metal shield along with a charging port. Okay, as for the microphone openings, this phone has 2 microphone holes for its 2 microphones. From the inside, both openings are protected by special membranes built into the display frame, and the channels are L-shaped. Even if you accidentally insert something into the one of the microphone holes, you won't damage the microphone itself, because the microphones are actually mounted on the small circuit boards underneath the metal shields on the opposite side. At this point, only the vibration motor remains installed in the display frame. And now we can move on to the main board. First, we disconnect the rear cameras, carefully pry up each connector in the proper place, disconnect it, and gently remove the camera modules. Set them aside. One of the camera modules must be disconnected from the back side of the main board. Also note that the rear cameras may be lightly adhered either to the display frame or to the metal shields on the main board. Next, disconnect the front-facing camera. Carefully lift its connector and remove the camera module. It is also a good idea to cover the front camera lens with protective film to keep dust and debris off it. Then set the camera aside. And now disconnect the remaining interconnect flex cable and the display flex cable. After that, we can remove the main board. As before, gently lift it from the edge, don't rush or use excessive force, carefully work it loose and lift it out. So you can see one side of the main board is slightly tucked underneath the display frame. We remove the main board, turn it over, remove the retaining bracket and disconnect the remaining rear camera. Finally, we can remove the battery. As you can see, this battery is not glued down at all, because the device has already been opened and repaired before. In your case, the battery will most likely be secured with adhesive and will need to be removed using a different procedure. And that is it, the disassembly is now complete. Thank you for watching and we will see you in our next videos, either on our Telegram channel or on our website.